Hi, hi everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome to Endo Chronicles. And if you're new here, my name is Okang and I share my journey with umbilical endometriosis. This is the rarest form of this health condition called endometriosis. And today I want to talk about something that has been weighing on me recently. It's the overlap between fibroids and endometriosis, and why many women like me, they go years without proper answers. So, fibroids and endometriosis, I have realized, have similar symptoms and can look almost the same on the outside. Um, Umbilical endometriosis has this tender bleeding nodule. It's so painful, so hard. But yeah, but the other symptoms are very heavy bleeding that sometimes take days before it tappers out. Then there's severe abdominal and pelvic pain all over there. So painful. There's bloating, like you can see. There's lots of bloating and swelling, and even fertility issues. And so when you show up at the hospital and the doctor begins to quiz you about your symptoms, many doctors first just begin to assume that, oh, this could be a fibroid, before they actually go for an ultrasound. And endometriosis doesn't even come up on on ultrasounds. Now, this is because doctors assume because fibroids are more common and they are easier to detect. So endometriosis is just endometriosis is just it's like a snake in the green snake in the green grass. Sometimes it hides in plain sight, if you get what I mean. So for me, this is not just a theory, it's actually my reality. Now, in the last video I mentioned that a few weeks ago I started bleeding heavily, and it was for 19 days straight. My heart was beating heavily, my knees were weak, I was just losing myself, and I felt dizzy. So when I got to the hospital, the doctors told me that the placement of the fibrosis was causing this heavy bleeding. It's possible that the fibrosis may be degenerating. I started taking vitamin D. Let me show you. I started taking vitamin D, this brand of vitamin D, D3 with K2. It's 5,000 IU vitamin D3. I take two daily, so that's 10,000. Then it has 100 mcg vitamin K2 as MK7. So it has 100 gel capsules here. And I started taking this in August because I saw a YouTube video of somebody saying it really helped her fibroids. Now, um, I live in a country where we have sunlight for all like throughout the year. Rarely do we have days without sunlight at all. So you would think that, well, I have vitamin D, but no, my skin color doesn't let the melanin in my skin doesn't let the vitamin D properties that I'm supposed to be getting from direct sunlight go come true. So I have to support it. Now, I haven't done any test to know what my vitamin D levels are. But what I found out is that you can hardly overdose with this. And if you do, you're going to have the symptoms. So you can stop taking it. But I haven't had any symptoms. So what I noticed was that when I started taking it 2 weeks into that, I started, the bleeding just would not stop. Yeah, so it may have caused the fibroid to degenerate, and that's what was happening to me, which is what the doctor said. So, well, I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping. So, this overlapping of fibroid symptoms and endometriosis symptoms, I think, is one of the reasons why many women get dismissed or overlooked or just misdiagnosed. So it's troubling that two very serious health issues, have similar symptoms, and one is so hard to diagnose and one is so obvious. And sometimes some women have both. Crazy. And the wrong diagnosis can lead to the wrong treatment because while you may have a surgery for the fibroids, you really can't just go to anybody to have surgery for endometriosis because it can cause seeding. That's what happened to me 20 something years ago. They thought I had an ovarian cyst, but the pains were terrible. So they said, okay, we'll do a procedure on you, we want to see what's going on the inside. And they went in and they saw that my uterus, and they saw adhesions, and they saw, like the doctor described it, like it was like paper was squeezed, like when you squeeze paper tight, that's how it looked on the inside. So they said, oh, well, sorry, we tried to spread it out. Did you have an abortion? I said no. So what did you do? I didn't do anything. So I think that in that process of mishandling the endometriosis, is spread to my navel. Okay, so a little life update from my last video. I mentioned that the doctors say because of the heavy bleeding, I should come in for surgery to remove the pesky fibroid that's causing the bleeding. And they may take out my navel as well. So I will not be seeing this bad guy anymore. I'll be happy to see it go. The years have been too long. So they put me on some. My cycle is beginning tomorrow, on the 11th of September. So they put me on some drugs to kind of lessen the bleeding or delay it. This is tranexamic acid capsules. Is 500 mg. This is um, Primolut N. Can't see how many mg this is, but I'm supposed to take two times a day, and this one 3 times a day. Yeah, so I'm taking that already, and I'll be honest with you, this is scary. This is very scary. I've always tried to manage my symptoms without surgery for the longest time, as far back as I can remember, as far back as when I was diagnosed, and even before then, this has started growing. It has started growing out. So, but now the bleeding has pushed me into this. But I pray that I come up well, and I'll be sharing with you my journey. So, this is why I think women should really advocate for themselves, ask the right questions, do their own research, talk to people, get second opinion, third opinions, you know, because the wrong diagnosis can lead to the wrong treatment. My doctors are not endo specialists, so they have assured me that they won't touch anything that remotely resembles endometriosis, and I think I'm willing to go with that because I don't want to bleed out again like I did in August. So women need awareness, which is why I make these videos. And shout out to the doctors, But doctors also need to listen to their patients very carefully. Yeah, and also be open minded too, because a lot of people are doing um, that are doing their own research, and they're coming up with things that are helping them. Like I told my doctor, I said some years ago, I used to come in here every month for you to give me injections to arrest and manage my pain. But if you have noticed, um, for the longest time, for years, I stopped coming. So he said yes. I said, yeah. So I think that um, what I've discovered can help someone else, or at least can up the knowledge on things that I'm doing that is working. And he was open to that. So yeah, I'm believing for favorable outcomes, and I'll be sharing my journey here. Even if my story is rare, I know someone watching this right now may be going through something similar, or know someone who's going through something similar, or just clicked because they want to know more about this condition. And you're welcome here. I'll share everything that I know. I will. So, in closing, if you've ever dealt with unexplainable pain, you feel like barbed wires are wrapped around your uterus and drawn in opposite directions, then you should check that out. Don't allow any doctor to brush you off. You're not alone. Please share your thoughts in the comment section. Share your stories in the comments, because I know for a fact how isolating this feels. I know. I've lived it. And if you found this video helpful, please subscribe so others can find it too. Please share. Please like. I continue to share my journey with you, and that will encourage me. Thank you so very much for being here. Love you. Mwah. Bye.